Okay, so I mentioned about making changes. So let's say that I am making a change to my program. So this is my local. I just made a change. I deleted a couple lines. If I go to GitKraken, I can see that it's tracking my work in progress that I modified um, two files. One's going to be the workspace. The other one's going to be what I did in main. So I deleted those two files right there. Okay. Now, issues that I could have. So if let's say, I also came here and I am in my project. Notice I didn't push up anything in source control, and I deleted this. So let's go ahead and delete that. So I deleted the opposite stuff. I commit these changes in here because that's the only way I can save these ones. Um, Deleted first two lines. I commit those changes. I look at GitKraken. If I fetch, we already have, see, this is now starting to look a little scary because now I have where I deleted the first two lines and it's not even having the same line because my work in progress is already different. Trying to commit changes and adopt this is going to end up having issues. So if I commit these changes on my local computer, deleted second two lines, I can end up having conflicts where I made two different things different. So I now have made a change. I go ahead and I add a third line because we deleted the first two. System.out. And this happens when you aren't syncing everything. Added another line. Okay. My GitKraken, it's now tracking that I got an additional line that I just did. Let's go ahead and stage that. Added another line. And I commit those changes. Now, if I try to push up, I'm going to have some issues. It says the reference, my master, is behind the remote from GitHub. I can choose to update my branch by doing a pull. That means pulling this and overwriting stuff. Or I could do a force push and say, whatever changes I made on my local, that's what I want to keep. So I'm going to overwrite this commit as if it never existed on my local. If I do force push, it's destructive. I could try to pull, but now that's where I see the conflict. So I can try to fix the conflict. Fixing conflicts are really not as scary. It just looks like it. Okay, so what it is, this is my cloud remote, and this is my master. So I'm looking at the changes. So this is what it is now. I have all of these lines on here. And from my remote, these are the only lines that I have. Okay, this is my output right here. Redbeard is at his home computer and hello world. The conflict is actually this line right here. They added another line because it's both happening at line 10 and line 10. Okay, so I can choose what I want to keep. I could say I want to keep this, and now this would be my new output file. I could choose to keep this, and it's going to keep all of this stuff. Okay. I could be more selective, and I could say, you know what, I want this one, this line, and then I can add my last line. So I could ingest and adopt all of the changes that I've made over time, but I'm going to have to pay attention to my conflict. So this could be what I want, where I wanted parts from this and parts from this. That's fine, okay? Or maybe I didn't want the changes on here and I only wanted changes over here. Okay, it doesn't matter. You just need to actually go through and decide what you're keeping and what you're not. Or if you're keeping all of it, what the order would be. Okay. And you can go ahead and click save. If you know that, hey, whatever it is, I want to just keep the master, you could go ahead and just take all of it. Or you could click here and you could take all of it. You could take just the section or just individual ones. After you're done, you go ahead and click save. Okay. So now, if I go to IntelliJ, it's showing this stuff. I've brought those changes down to my local computer, but what I got to do is I did that merge, and I fixed the conflict. I need to now commit and merge. So I commit and merge, which is showing what's right here. Now I need to push that back up to my remote so it's on the same line. That is successful. So now they are. So I've basically kind of had like two branches. This was like my main trunk, and then this was from my remote, and I integrated them back together here. Okay. So now they're in line. Both of them will share the same amount of code, the same lines of code there, and let's update there. Okay. And if I look at my commits, I got additional commits, but it's tracking that I've added those additional lines into the code. Okay. All right, so that is basically kind of how you do with commits, how you push and pull, how you keep stuff in sync. It is so much easier if you just make sure that you're always working with the most recent version. Okay, so if GitHub has the most recent version, you need to make sure you pull it down to your local computer, work on that, and then apply the commits that you have made and push it back up to your remote so that you can access it other places and it has those changes. Okay. This would be the link, and I'm going to have another video explaining how you're going to share that with me so that I am able to look at your guys' code. I can download your code. I can run it. All right. So you need to make sure that your very first commit always is the IntelliJ project. Okay. The very first one that you do after you create the repo is the IntelliJ project, so I can pull down your code and I can run it and make sure that it works. Okay. All right. So that is source control basically in a nutshell. I'm going to apply, give you guys some other YouTube videos that I think he does a really good job kind of just doing with the Palm for doing source control, which will really help you get to practice it more. Okay. All right. Have fun.